Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel. Today I'm going to deal with a Bible share called the Doing Me Culture. Need a new man without commitment. So it's the Doing Me culture. So this is a series that I'm going to do, and it's going to kind of give you snapshots of dating today, right? And what people are up against in terms of dating. Because I did a couple of videos not last year, but a couple of years ago, where I said in one of the videos, I said dating it's very inhumane, it's very unreasonable, and it should be outlawed. Obviously, I don't mean it should be outlawed, but dating has become this kind of monster that everyone kind of wants to do, you know, and people, especially people in the world, they say things, just drop it in conversation like, oh, I've just been dating in that town for the past 3 months. I've just been dating, having fun. I had some really good dates down there. And it's just like, hang on, that's not really what the Bible says in terms of dating, because they're thinking about dating in terms of having fun and having sexual pleasure, right? Having leisure and having sexual fun. And really, that's not really what the Bible wants us to do. The Bible wants us to, first of all, you prove a friend. So if you see someone presentable and you're thinking of whether that person is the right person to pursue or not, then you have to prove them. You have to prove to know whether they're a good friend or not. And then when you've got to the stage where you realize, oh, I really like this person in my life, then you can move on to the next stage, which is courting, right? And courting and modern day dating are two different things. Modern day dating is when you're dating for fun, or dating just because you're lonely. You're just dating for companionship. But courting in the Bible is when you are pursuing a woman or a man for the reasons of marriage, right? And marriage means staying together forever, not staying together until you get bored, or staying together until you just want to date somebody else. No, it's dating, it's courting with the intention of staying married until death, right? Literally until God says that's it for you, right? And takes someone's life, or both of you's lives, right? So I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to outline people's ideas about dating and how it's very much indifferent to the biblical ideas about courting for marriage.
Because I don't have time for the confusion. Like I know what I want. I want someone. I don't really want a full-fledged 7 days. I don't need to see anyone every day. I like the way my life is and the way I No.
Could he have sex with other women?
I mean, no.
So you don't want to see him you don't want to see him every day, and he can't spend time with other women?
I mean that's where the type of man that I need. I don't think I would want someone who needs to be around someone every day.
You want to have sex
like
often?
Do I have sex often?
I said, do you want to?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I don't have to see a man every day. You know what I mean? Like when I do, I want to be able to have that kind of intimacy with them, but I don't need to see anyone every day.
Okay, got you. Okay. So when was your last relationship?
2017.
2017. And you don't have to answer, but when was the last time you was intimate with someone?
I'm not going to answer.
That's fine. Charlie, now they got to say something about you wanting a 100K man. Do you want to respond to that?
I mean, someone my age should be making that amount of money. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for somebody who's just now in their career. I believe that, yeah, I make good money. I'm 56 years old. I should be, yeah, I think that, and that's not saying the type of person. I know people who have blue collar jobs who make $100,000 a year here in the Bay Area.
Those men?
They drive concrete trucks and make $100,000.
Why don't you date them?
I mean, I dated. I do. I date. I think I'm just looking more so for somebody that I can, mesh with on a regular basis. I date.
So those men you don't mess about with?
Yeah, I won't even say friends because I don't sleep with my friends, but I have an intimate person that I see on a regular basis, but I just don't think that as a couple, that's somebody that I'm willing to share my life with. They drive concrete trucks and make $100,000.
Why don't you date them?
I mean, I dated. I do. I date. I think I'm just looking more so for somebody that I can, mesh with on a regular basis. I date.
So those men you don't mess about with?
Yeah, I won't even say friends because I don't sleep with my friends, but I have an intimate person that I see on a regular basis, but I just don't think that as a couple, that's somebody that I'm willing to share my life with.
I'm starting to think that it's a modern woman's disease. When I first started to watch Kevin Samuels, and I would hear him say, "Oh, you want a 6-figure income?" And they would demand a 6-figure income, and he would always slap it down and go, "Well, that's unreasonable." And then I would think to myself, why would anybody want someone that earns 6 figures? You tell me the black man, especially a black man, that earns 6 figures. 6 figures is earned by people that own companies and executive directors and prime ministers and presidents and head of companies, owners of companies. That's very unrealistic, because when you look at the percentage of black men especially that make that type of money, it's wholly unrealistic. So why they keep saying it, I don't know. I really don't understand it. And the other thing is, she says she's looking for a man, but she doesn't really want a man, because what she's saying so far is like she wants a man, but a man far away, a man on her own terms, right? She doesn't want him around. She prefers if he's in a different state. She doesn't really want to have sex with him. She'll have sex with him, but, not really that often. And she said how she already has a consistent sexual relationship with someone else, which is nasty, right? Because the Bible says that when you you defile yourself when you fornicate. A woman is not really supposed to be having multiple husbands like that. She only is supposed to have one man during the course of her life, not multiple men. And you certainly shouldn't be having a sexual relationship while looking for another man to have another sexual relationship with.
Fair enough. All right, so why would a guy be lucky to be with you, Shelly?
Cause I'm a boss. I'm a chick that, I like sports, but I like, live music. I like to travel. I take good care of myself. I let a man be a man as far as making decisions and things like that. But I'm a good person to be around. Like why I'm not in a relationship? I like the good times. I don't like the I'm the good time person. I'm the person that travels and wants to spend time with someone because I want to. I don't want the logistics of a relationship that get into the inner parts of my life. Like I don't need to necessarily meet your family. I don't necessarily
you don't
need
want a
to.
serious relationship then?
I want a relationship that's serious, but I don't want the traditional relationship. Like I want to be able to have a special part of someone's life that we have a special compartment for each other.
But you don't want to spend holidays together.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so what don't you want to do? You said.
I don't want to be the required person. I don't want to be required to wash your clothes. I don't want to be required to cook and make your meals and things like that. I don't want to be
that from his woman. where would he get that from? He has to sacrifice that desire then?
No, well, then that's probably not the person for me, if that's what you desire. I know a lot of independent men who run their lives solely on, how they run their lives. It's not
Can I go back to
necessarily.
So now we get to the really interesting bit of the interview. And we now establish that she wants a relationship, but she doesn't want the commitment. She doesn't want to cook. She doesn't want to do his laundry. She doesn't want him around. She wants him in a different state. She doesn't want to do the things that are required in a relationship. She doesn't even want to meet his family. There's really a lot of things that she doesn't really like. And she said it herself. She likes the good parts of a relationship. She doesn't want a relationship where it becomes really close, right? Whereby, they become really, really good friends and he gets to know her inner parts, right? I'm not talking about sexually. I mean, he gets under her skin basically and peels it back a bit. Right, so she's a good time girl. She just wants a good time. And what you realize about this interview with a woman who is 20 years older than the lady that was before, the 33-year-old, is that this woman doesn't understand men. And she doesn't understand what relationships are for, what marriages are for, what a woman's purpose is, what a man's purpose is. She doesn't understand female roles and male roles. What I see is a narcissist. These are traits of masculinity. They're traits of a woman who just doesn't really want to be functional as a woman, but be functional for herself. Because when asked, what are you going to bring to the table? She started saying, oh, well, I'm a boss, and then she couldn't wait to start talking about how she's a good time girl. And then she said, oh, well, I don't want to meet his family and I don't want to get to know him that much. So what do you want from a man then? What do you think a man wants? Do you think a man just wants a casual relationship? Could be sexual, as long as it's not a consistent sexual relationship. Or he could want companionship, as long as it's not a consistent companion, a relationship with a companion living with him. So what exactly does this woman want? And at the age of 56, and I'm not one for age shaming someone, right? But there's a natural point in your adult life whereby you start looking back and reflecting and start thinking, hang on, I made a mistake there. And therefore now I need to actually think about what I really want out of life and what I'm going to bring to a man's life to add value to him as a man.
First question, why don't you date those men then?
I do.
So what's the problem? Why don't those work out?
That's a good question. I think that I'm limited to who I'm meeting. You know what I mean? Like I kind of have a standard relationship with people in my area. And so I need to and I'm doing some more traveling, but I would prefer, and this is just me, I would prefer somebody who lives in a different state. I really would.
How often would you see them?
I mean, between them traveling here, I have my own home, and me traveling to see them, I guess, a couple times, once or twice a month.
So once or twice a month, and you don't want him to sleep with anybody else. So he has to only want to have sex twice a month.
I mean, we could do things that are not necessarily where there's things you can do over the phone that you can kind of build up until you see that person. And, if someone
that might be okay for you, but what if that's not okay for his sex drive?
Well, shit, if he's over 50, he done had enough coochie. I mean, coochie shouldn't be you know what I mean? Like, I had that coochie. I think at some age, you done had every flavor. That shouldn't be, like, I am sexually active and I want to be intimate with my man. But I think that sometimes we get over, like, you getting some mediocre coochie 3 times a week when you can probably get some very good, and you miss the person and you're waiting to see them a couple times a month. You know what I mean? And in between, you keep things kind of spicy. I don't think after over 50, that's unrealistic. Unless they taking Viagra, men can't perform more than twice, 3 times a week. You know?
So she continues to actually show that she doesn't understand men. She doesn't understand what men want, the desire of what a man wants. So now she's trying to explain it away to say, well, why should he want sex? He should have already had all the sex in his whole entire life. Why did he want something mediocre? Why did he want something that he has to wait for it once per month? Right now, obviously, you shouldn't involve in any kind of sexual relationship with anyone who's not committed to you, right? Unless you're in a marital relationship, it's a commitment for life, right? You shouldn't engage in any kind of sexual activity unless that has been established, and that's after you have proved a friend, right? But this lady here, she seems to want to run away from her responsibilities and explain it away, and it seems like she wants another sexual partner, to tell you the truth, or a companion, and someone that she can have sex with whenever she feels like it, which is probably once or twice per month.
Prefers he makes 100K, no kids under 18. She doesn't want to live with you. She wants to travel with you, correct?
Correct.
She wants a serious relationship without all the serious relationship requirements.
A committed relationship without all the serious requirements. Right.
All right.
I mean, I don't think that's unrealistic. Like, I mean, you got to learn by now, you should know how to wash and fold your own clothes. People are particular. You know, you should be able to do those certain things. That's not what a woman is for.
So she says she wants a serious relationship. I think she said she wants a committed relationship, but she doesn't want to commit, right? So she wants a serious relationship, but she doesn't really want to commit to that serious relationship. So she wants a relationship that is a relationship on her terms, right? And now she's going to explain that she doesn't understand men, right? So she's looking for another bed partner. That's really what she's looking for. She's looking for a bed partner that she can see probably once per month, once or twice per month, and that's it, right? She doesn't want the commitment from that, but she wants to have him exclusively for herself, right? And she's now going to say that a woman's job is not to fold his clothes and take care of his household and clean the house and do the laundry and cook and all the rest of the things that a woman is required to do. So now she's going to explain that she doesn't understand relationships and she doesn't understand men. Why? Because she's a narcissist. She's selfish, right? This is not a woman, because a real woman would not talk like this. A virtuous woman won't talk like this. This is a selfish woman who doesn't really deserve to find anybody, really.
That's what the washing machine and dryer is for. It doesn't matter who puts your clothes in there.
My thing is this: I'm not arguing with you because you know what you want to. You just got to find a man that, there's certain men who I don't like to say it's a woman's job, right? But there's men who look for women to take care of the home, that she's the cook. She's the one making sure the house is together. And that's a desire that he desires as a man. And if I'm not mad at that man for desiring that, just like women desire. Didn't you say in the beginning you want like a manly man that can fix things? That it may not be broke, but you expect him to be able to show up as a man and fix things. So why can you expect that, but a man can expect a woman to wash his clothes and cook for him?
Well, I mean, in that case where it's a give and take, like if I expected something from you, I wouldn't mind putting a plate on the table for you. I wouldn't mind doing something for you. But when it comes to that is what I'm required to do, I mean, that's just not the title that I'm looking for in somebody's life. I don't know how unrealistic that is, but that's not what I don't want the requirements of what you should do for yourself.
So for those of you women that are thinking about leaving your husband, or those of you men are thinking about leaving your wife, this is what you're up against. Narcissists, This is a woman who the Bible says an older woman is supposed to teach the younger woman, right? You're supposed to pass the knowledge on, right? This woman has no wisdom because she's selfish. She has lived a selfish life. It's pretty obvious. And then now she's got to a stage where she just doesn't want to do anything. She wants the pleasure of having a relationship, but she doesn't really want to commit, right? So she wants a relationship, but she doesn't really want to commit. So she's a very selfish narcissist, right? So when pushed, she goes, oh, well, men normally like women that cook food. Well, I just don't like the requirement of having to do it. You know, why shouldn't he be able to do it for himself? Well, if he is doing it for himself, then why does he need you? You tell me why he needs you. Is it just for sex? I mean, surely if a man is over a certain age, you know, he's looking for a woman that is a good woman, a kind woman, a loving woman, a woman that does what a woman is supposed to do. But this is the older woman that's supposed to be leading the younger woman. And she's completely clueless. And she's clueless because she wants to be clueless, because she's selfish.
Daily.
And okay.
No.
She said, feed
No, just
yourself and wash your own clothes.
Just like I'm not going to require everything that happens to my house that you come and do it. If I want something painted and surely you can paint, I might hire someone to paint for me. You know, that's not what you're required to do. If you're available to do it, that's fine. I'm available to do that. I mean, but I'm just not going to be required to do it because you have a woman in your life.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. When was your last relationship, Shelly?
2017.
2017. So in that relationship, you were like this?
No, we lived together.
Okay.
So we lived together. So yeah, I didn't have a problem providing. That's probably why I didn't, you know, like I feel like I do now. The requirements of that, I feel like this as a woman, when we get in a relationship, because we are who we are. I'm only girl of two older brothers. So I know the role of cooking, cleaning, and preparing things that men can't necessarily do around the house. I get that part. And with my relationship, I was that person. But I don't want to be, we take on 80% of that. You know what I mean? Like a man, when they get in a relationship, they probably don't have to prepare many other meals because the woman is doing that. They don't have to do a lot of the cleaning and the cooking and things like that because we naturally take that on. But I don't think a man, like I didn't have 80% of my well-being and care automatically taken care of because I was in a relationship with him. You know what I mean? Like 80% of my bills and all of that and the things that you would think financially a man may or may not be able to do. But automatically as a woman, we just do that. I got it. I'm going to shop. I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean because that's what I do. And that's normally what happens. But it's not the other way around. Like a man that finds a wife, he finds a good thing because he finds someone to take on those responsibilities. I don't think that a man, I mean, yeah, when we travel,
married, you said, right?
No.
This is why men in general do not take on older women, because an older woman, she's set in her ways. She spent all of her life being selfish, a narcissist, a feminist, and she's not going to change as an older woman. She's not going to change. You're not going to change her. She spent her whole entire life being like that. She's not going to change. Right? And a lot of these feminists, they don't understand. A lot of these modern feminists, they don't understand men, the purpose of a man and the purpose of a woman. The woman's job is to support a man, to be a helpmeet. You are his support, right? You shouldn't be looking for a man if you're not willing to be his support.
Be married. So this actually doesn't apply to you because you don't want to be married. But otherwise, I know they actually enjoy cooking for their family. Like it's something that like they take the honor of being the woman that is taking care of the food for the family. Like, and I'm thinking of 3 of my married friends who love doing that. But again, you don't want to be married, so I don't think that would fall something as something.
I mean, I don't mind preparing meals. I'm a great cook. I just don't want to be required that I have to at the end of my day.
I think the word require seems like a job, right? I think the way that they have taught, it is three totally different women, all different ages. It's like I am his nurturer. I get to make sure that he's taken care of. This is the way I show up and make sure that my man's taken care of by providing a meal for him, because I want him to feel good about that. I want him to know that there's someone making sure that his plate is taken care of. And I'm telling you, it's three different wives that have said that, because I think a lot of women don't like the requirement, right? It's almost like no one wants to feel like this is my job, but really it shouldn't feel like a job. It should be like something you want to do because you love this man and you want to make sure that that's, that you're the one that took care of him. Because if you don't eat, because if it ain't you, somebody else gonna make sure he ate.
Absolutely going to be feeding him.
Somebody
I
else gonna
understand.
be feeding him. If it ain't you, somebody else might feed him.
Absolutely, and he might eat it. You know what I mean? And I get it.
Now, I'll let this one go on quite a bit, but because I thought it's quite interesting to see the psyche of what's going on in dating. And in this circumstance is a woman who is a little bit older than, the women that you would expect to come out with this kind of stuff. So I find it quite interesting. Now, I'm going to end this interview here, and I'm just going to give some final commentary on it. Now, this is why older men normally go for younger women, right? So if you're a man in his 50s, he'd normally go for a woman in his 30s or 20s. Or if you're a man in his 40s, he would normally go for a woman in her 20s or 30s, right? So men normally, as they get older, the ages of which they're prepared to date or to marry, they expand, right? But down, not up, right? And this is why men don't tend to date older women, because older women, especially a woman past the age of 35, in her 40s and 50s, late 40s, 40s and 50s, late 30s, 40s and 50s, a lot of these women get ingrained in their ways and they don't really want to change, right? And therefore, it's very difficult for a woman that has been working and has her own house and etc., at those ages, to now be submissive to a husband and to actually be obedient to her husband. It's very difficult. It gets very, very complicated. So that's why when you're in your early 20s and you have those offers, those potential men are coming and making a plea for you, you should really be making a good choice, bringing them to your father if you feel that's necessary, to see if he can help you make a decision on who's best for you, right? Because what you don't want is to be over the age of 35. You can't conceive children anymore, or it's very difficult for you to conceive children. You got no more eggs, or your eggs are old, and it's very difficult for you to conceive, and then so you don't have that leverage, right? And then you're out here looking for a husband, and then you end up saying a whole load of narcissistic, feminist, selfish things and make yourself look stupid online. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to end it here. I hope you were edified. Shalom.